I'm not going to brag, not at all, because God controls these things. I can say to you that these people that I mentioned to you, like you meeting my brother Bob.
Yes.
He's really a saint,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
He was a great man.
and he's coming along really great. Well, the other gentleman you just mentioned,
Dave Feister.
Dave Feister, met him and became a very close friend of his.
Yes, he was a good man, huh?
Yes. So I've been really blessed, and when I get back, I have to do some checking on some of these people that I've been blessed to have.
Oh,
as friends.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Did I ask you if you could see him?
Yeah, we're going to look into to see if we can track him down.
Who's that, Dave Feister?
Yes. Yeah.
He's a great friend of mine.
Right.
He was in the service with me, you know.
Sure. Yeah, and then you fellas went to college together.
That's right.
Tuscaloosa. Tusculum? Tusculum.
Tusculum, right.
Tusculum.
You know, this music that's playing, this is Betsy's favorite Christmas music. The music that's playing right now,
Right.
that's Betsy's favorite Christmas music.
Well, I hope that I get a little bit closer to her. I was working hard on it, and there's several others that will really be great. Like would meet people like you that seem to connect,
Thank you, Pop.
and
This is Thomas Francis. Thank you, Thomas.
oh, gee, did I tell you the story of Francis?
Is Francis a sissy? That one? Tell that, Dad. I love that story.
Yes, well, it's true.
I know.
But that was my mother. This is my mother's thing. She's putting the wash out as she often does, you know?
Right.
And in the course of which he was a religious guy across the street from us on Winter Street. And he came around to watch her put out the wash, and in which he found out that my son's name was Francis. And while she's taking the wash in
Yes.
from the line,
Mm-hmm.
he says to her, you know, her name was, I almost had
Claire.
Claire. You know, Claire. He said to her, you know, you should have used Francis Sissy instead of Francis
Xavier.
And she's, even to this day, she's a very sensitive person, good Catholic. I don't have to say that to you. And he was living across the street as the Catholic who was always going to church. An older guy.
Mm-hmm.
He would walk down to the church across the street from us.
Yes.
And-
Our Lady of Peace.
Our Lady of Peace, I thank you. And when he heard my mother say that my name was
Francis.
was Francis,
This is Francis.
and he said that he felt that she could have done better if she named him Francis and Sissy.
Right.
And when she came in from putting the wash out that night, I'm helping her, you know, put the wash online.
Right.
And I said, Mom, you know, oh, she heard him talking, and she said she was a little bit tearing.
Oh.
And I said, Mom, what are you feeling badly about? And he said, well, oh, I can't think of his name. It's almost on my mouth. I can't.
Okay.
The gentleman across the street, I said, Mom, what do you feel so badly about? And she said, well, I almost can think of his name, but I can't think of it. But anyway, he said, well, this guy across the street that everybody likes so much hurt my feelings because he said that I should have chosen Francis Assisi as the saint instead of whatever. I still chose my own gay name, incidentally. But in any event, as it came out, he says to this guy, oh, I almost have his name. I just can't think of it. But she said, well, Mr. So-and-so was talking to me when I was putting out the wash, and he said you were an sissy.
You were a sissy.
Yeah, you were a sissy. And I happened to be choosing the names myself at that time of my life. We were going to a Protestant school, but nevertheless, the priest involved said that I should have chosen Francis Assisi instead of Francis Xavier.
Right.
My mother was.
She thought he was calling you a sissy.
Yeah, she thought he was calling
Tom,
me
don't turn that on.
Francis Assisi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something else. That's a great story.
But fortunately, I was able to allay her feeling by saying, Mom, I said, Mom, he wasn't calling me a sissy. He was trying to say that you should have chosen me as Xavier, not as Xavier, but as a sissy, who this guy considered a better saint than Francis Xavier. Although I would question that, because Francis Xavier was a very violent name, even in those days.
Yeah.
But this guy was a very religious Catholic. Went to mass every morning.
Right.
And so I said, gee, he's such a nice guy. I don't think he meant any harm, Mom. Whoever had come up with Francis Xavier tagged me with Francis Xavier as being a better name.
Right.
He wasn't saying I wasn't a sissy. It's a true story.
Yes.
You know?
That's cute.
I don't think of it all the time, but it strikes my mind.
Sure. That's
And
great.
Francis Xavier, when I got to know later on, if you ever read, he was a real tough priest.
Mm-hmm.
Francis Assisi was a very affectionate priest.
Yes.
But Francis Assisi was one of those guys that fought for the in that time for that particular Francis Xavier. And of course, if you ever look up Francis Xavier, if you haven't done it already, he was like the leader in the what were those rough days? He was a leader.
Right.
And
he was a leader of the church.
Pardon me?
He was a leader of the Catholic Church.
That's right. That's why I tear a little bit because God bless her. In my heart, she's still alive. I can always remember her feeling so badly, putting out the wash on the line.
Sure.
And by telling her that, he didn't mean any harm.
Right.
He was talking about a tougher saint in his eyes.
Right. Very good.